It was a brutal attack, and just one in a series that took place on a day that many are now referring to as Bloody Tuesday. A 22-year-old Palestinian from the West Bank city of Kalkilia went on a stabbing spree in the city of Jaffa, which borders Tel Aviv. More than a dozen people were wounded, and one was killed, a 29-year-old American citizen and U.S. Army veteran named Taylor Force. Police said the assailant stabbed 3 people at Jaffa port before running up the waterfront and continuing his violent rampage. Yishai Montgomery, who was playing his guitar on the beach at the time, describes what happened.
I heard people screaming and I looked up and saw the assailant. He approached me very quickly and tried to stab me a few times. He was out of breath and missed, so I had enough time to grab my guitar and bash it against his head. After that, I started to run and yell at him.
The terrorist then attempted to flee into neighboring Tel Aviv, but was shot dead by police. But less than a day after the vicious stabbings took place, many in Jaffa say it's business as usual. The city, with its mixed Jewish and Arab population, is known within Israel as a beacon of coexistence, and this was the message that most residents wish to convey.
I feel safe because we are all brothers. There are no problems here in Jaffa. The terrorists come from other areas and make problems because they have security and economic issues there. But here, we are all brothers.
Coexistence continues. We are here to enjoy ourselves and play backgammon. We were born in Jaffa, live in Jaffa, and will continue to live here and elsewhere in the country. We will not allow anything to trouble us. We are not afraid of anything.
And despite the fact that several of those injured in Tuesday's attack were tourists, some visiting the country appear to be unfazed.
I feel like everything's going on as normal over here. It seems to be good police coverage and military coverage, so I'm not worried.
Nicola, a tour guide in Jaffa, said that for now tourist numbers were consistent, but she worried down the line this could change for the worse.
Eventually people stop booking because it looks too dangerous. I know in Jerusalem, our company also works in Jerusalem, their numbers have been down because people don't really want to go so much because they're afraid.
She added that she felt there is not enough of a police presence in tourist-heavy areas.
Christmas week, which is the high point for tourists, I had an incident at the clock tower, the central square in Jaffa, where I needed police. I couldn't find any. We called the police, and eventually I spoke to whoever was in charge, who was very, very particular about the fact that this is Jaffa, it's not Jerusalem, we don't need all of this.
But on Wednesday, security was out in force. In a rare sight, border police, usually seen in Jerusalem where terror attacks are an almost daily occurrence, were patrolling parts of Jaffa. Naval police were also on the lookout for anything suspicious. Even though there's a heightened police presence, there are fewer people on the streets, and areas that are usually teeming with tourists are quiet. Maya Margit, I-24 News, Jaffa.